Okay, so we finna react to a video of a nigga named Mal Smith, the biggest op in New Orleans, you feel me? Simple, cut straight to it, you feel me? Let's see how he became the biggest op, you feel me? Because, sometimes they just be clickbaiting, trying to gas the shit up like, oh yeah, he the biggest op, he does that. The nigga did the same shit as every other nigga inside the hood. No difference at all, you feel me? But you know how that shit be. Shout out to Funna, man. They make amazing content, you feel me? And if you wanna get to the original video and you don't wanna hear me talking shit, the link to the original video will be inside the description, man.
It was a horrific mass shooting back in 2018. 10 people shot on a busy stretch of South Claiborne Avenue on a Saturday night. 3 of those victims died. Now, more than 3 years later, New Orleans police announced an arrest in the case.
That's right. 32-year-old Jamal Smith has been named as one of 2 gunmen in that shooting. Records show he has been in custody since 2019 on separate federal charges. Those federal charges include dealing marijuana, being a felon with a firearm, and possession of a firearm while drug trafficking. His rap sheet also shows prior convictions and prison time for earlier gun and drug convictions. Smith has now been named by the NOPD as a perpetrator in one of the most shocking mass shootings to take place in the city in the past decade.
In a previous video I made, I showed how crazy New Orleans is and why it's the murder capital of America. The city is filled with demons that are willing to kill anyone on a moment's notice. The subject of today's video is no different. The subject of today's video went to war with the deadliest crew in New Orleans and survived attempts on his life. He did so much dirt in the streets that various factions around the city wanted him dead. The subject of today's video is so demonic and reckless that he allegedly shot into a large crowd of people, not caring who was in the way, just to take down one of his ops.
Okay, he sound like a typical nigga. Typical nigga that don't give a fuck about life. Okay. So I say it's just gonna be another one of them stories. But let's see what he did. He looked like he looked like he busting. It looked like he busting off that shit. He off that shit for sure.
The subject of today's video is not other than Jamal Smith, aka Maul, and today we're going to be telling his story. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
Already did.
Jamal Smith, also known by his rapper name Ink Sicko, but most known by his nickname Maul, grew up in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was from the Calliope Projects. This housing project gained notoriety throughout the city for its extremely high crime rate. The project was built between 1939 and 1941. During the Calliope's early days, it was considered a means for working-class families to live comfortably while saving up the funds to purchase.
That nigga is buff as it. This the Max San Andreas build on GTA. What the fuck? This nigga is overly buff. This nigga gotta be taking steroids or some shit, bro. Like that nigga King Kong ass, buff ass nigga in the back, bro. What the fuck?
Just their own homes. Since the early 1980s, rival drug dealing rings have operated in and around the Calliope area, spawning what the law enforcement community in New Orleans called a seemingly non-stop cycle of retaliatory violence. According to the New Orleans Police Department, the violence escalated in the late 80s, peaking in the early 1990s. After drug kingpin Sam Scully Clay was gunned down in the Calliope in 1987, the drug trade spiraled out of control in a war over the drug trade in that area. From 1993 to 2004, 88 people were killed in the Calliope projects. The Calliope is at war with the deadliest crew in New Orleans called the 39ers. The 30
And 88 don't sound like a lot, but you gotta think about it. Niggas is not supposed to be dying. That's not good. 88 is actually a lot. That's sad.
39ers are a mix of members of the 3 and G gang from 3rd and Galvez and G Strip gang from Galileo Street. Authorities connected members of the 39ers to over 45 murders throughout the city. Eventually, events would transpire that would cause Maul to become their top target.
Damn. Rest in peace to Buddy.
Mal really became a savage following the death of his cousin Omig, real name Omar Brew. On March 15, 2009, Omig was riding in a Lexus with another person on Magnolia Street, approaching South Claiborne, when a man wearing a white t-shirt and a black bandana emerged from the sunroof of an unidentified white car in the right lane. The man pulled out a handgun with an extended clip and began to shoot at the Lexus. The shooting continued through the South Claiborne intersection when another gunman began shooting from a second unidentified white vehicle in the right lane. After about 20 rounds were fired, the Lexus continued through the intersection and bumped into something, then veered right and crashed into a fence. The two unidentified white cars with the gunmen in them turned left onto South Claiborne. An 18-year-old passenger fled the Lexus after the crash, but was later transported by paramedics to the hospital, where he was treated for a single gunshot wound. Nearly an hour later, Omig would be discovered in the driver's seat with multiple gunshot wounds and would be pronounced dead at just 25 years old. A member of the 39ers named Black, real name Control Hickerson.
Bro, his ass looked like man, damn, I'll be forgetting what the fuck.
Would be charged with this murder. This incident would change Maul forever and make him hate members of the 39ers with a passion.
The death of Lester
Following the
Green.
death of Omig, Maul really started to build a name for himself in the streets and became a feared killer. According to court testimony that took place when the 39ers were taken down by RICO charges, Maul was accused of killing a 39ers member named AP. This would cause Maul to become the 39ers' #1 target, and they would eventually come after him. On May 19, 2010, Maul and one of his friends named Lester Green were riding in a gray Acura near the intersection of South Rendon Streets when a red Chevrolet minivan pulled up and gunmen in the van fired over 26 rounds from an assault rifle at them. Lester was shot once in the head and was tragically pronounced dead at just 21 years old. Jamal was struck as well, but survived his injuries. 5 members of the 39ers, including the infamous killer Gregory Rabbit Stewart, were charged with this murder and attempted murder.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Buddy Ass in another story. This nigga right here, he's a menace. He's a menace.
Gregory would go on to testify in court what happened on this day and the events that caused them to target Maul.
Right, he's a menace and snitch.
And what neighborhood was Jamal from? The Calliope. Did the 3NG guys like T-Red or Rat? Did they ever tell you about the Calliope guys? Yeah.
And this why you can't be taking none of these niggas serious, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you because lots of these niggas, bro, is only tough and shit because they haven't got caught. They didn't get caught. And once they get caught, then you will see if they're a real nigga. You ain't gonna never know if a nigga a real nigga till they get caught, though. You feel me? That's the sad way it is, though. That's why you just should not be in the streets. That's a good reason to not be in the fucking streets, though. Because you're not going to know if someone a real nigga till they be inside a real situation.
AP had got killed, and Red used to always tell me, like, man, I want that boy Maul, man, you know. Who is AP? He off 3rd and G. That's one of the Rat and them partner. They believe that Maul had killed AP? Yeah. So what happened the day that Maul and Lester got shot? Well, I seen Maul get out the car when Nelly got out the car. And I told Nelly, I said, man, listen, hold Maul up. Because Nelly know Maul too, because Maul was hanging in the 9th Ward too. I'm like, hold that boy up. I'm about to go get Red and them to kill that boy.
This incident would make Maul's hatred of the 39ers grow even further.
Man. Definitely, man.
Following the attempt on his life, Maul would lose another loved one to the 39ers. On December 20th, 2010, Jerome Hampton, aka Man Man, and a New Orleans rapper named Magnolia Shorty were shot multiple times while seated in...
Oh, I just watched the video. I ain't gonna cap to you. We just reacted to the Dose of Mystery, the final hours of her. Man ass, they said Man was the reason that she probably got killed for just hanging around Man, because they said Man a menace. But I ain't gonna cap to you. Anybody with the name Man, you know they inside the streets. You know they ass a menace. I ain't gonna cap to you.
Inside a Chevrolet Malibu. Both were pronounced dead at the scene, as each suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. 5 members of the 39ers, named Gregory Rabbit Stewart, T-Red, T-Bone, Rat, and Freaky, were in a white Crown Victoria that was owned by Greg's girlfriend. The car was being driven by T-Bone, as the group was looking to locate Jerome Hampton. Once they found him, they pulled up near Jerome's car while it was in a parking lot of an apartment complex. Greg, T-Red, Rat, and Freaky exited their car and opened fire with several semi-automatic weapons, killing Jerome and Magnolia Shorty. While being fired upon, Magnolia Shorty, who was the driver of the Chevrolet Malibu, accelerated the vehicle, which then crashed into a wooden fence. According to the NOPD, there were over 50 spent shell casings at the scene of the murder. Jerome Hampton was a well-respected member of the Calliope and had a reputation for being a killer. Having recently returned home from prison, Jerome made it known that he was looking to kill Merle Ofrey, who was one of the highest.
That's why I'm saying, baby. Baby, fucking Menace. I gotta spit.
Ranking members of the 39ers. Due to these threats, top 39er hitman Gregory Stewart and his associates were ordered to carry out this murder. With all of
And that's why Magnolia Shorty, that's just she got killed because she was hanging around him. That's why they say, watch who you hang around, because if you with them when the people that want them want to get them killed, you're gonna die with them. You feel me? And it don't be worth it.
the pain that Maul dealt with at the hands of the 39ers, it's no surprise that he would do something crazy in response. On July 28, 2018, Maul would allegedly carry out a horrific act. On this day, a 39er member named Jeremiah Lee was standing outside in a crowd outside Jazz DeCurry's lounge when 2 shooters arrived, one carrying a rifle and one armed with 2 pistols. As Jeremiah began to run away into the crowd, the shooters fired at him indiscriminately, not caring who else was hit as long as they took out their target. They were able to successfully kill Jeremiah, but they also killed 2 innocent bystanders in the process and injured 7 others.
You see, that's the shit I be talking about, bro. Like, if you inside this street shit, bro, like if you can't get your street target, whoever fuck you beefing with, without hitting innocent people, leave it alone. Just leave it the fuck alone, bro. Because everybody ain't trying to throw their life away to the streets, you feel me? And some people want to live a young life, and you feel me, and think more of their life, you feel me? So, like, come on, be considerate of the people that want to live that.
Others. The 2 innocent bystanders that were killed were Taisha Watkins and Kershaw Jackson. Police believe that Jeremiah Lee allegedly killed a man named Kareem Dowell before his death, and this put a target on his back. Jeremiah had been shot in an incident prior to this, but survived. Following the mass shooting, the killers went to extreme lengths to cover their tracks. They ditched their stolen getaway car and set it on fire within 2 hours after the shooting. The police were clueless on who both shooters were, but Ma would ultimately be charged for it years later. Ma was eventually linked to this crime after the NOPD received a Crime Stoppers tip that Ma was one of the 2 gunmen in the shooting. Police later learned that he was already in jail in Jefferson Parish, where he was being held on a federal weapons charge and drug charges. In October of 2021, Ma was officially charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted second-degree murder. Man, this story was crazy. It's sad to see so many people lose their lives, especially the innocent people caught in the crossfire that had nothing to do with this beef and didn't sign up for the street life. RIP to everyone that passed away in this video, especially Taisha.
Yeah, that shit was fucked up, man. Rest in peace to everyone in the video. Like he said, man, it was a pretty good story. Well, it wasn't a good story, but it was an interesting one, man. Don't forget to subscribe to Funnel. Check them out. They make amazing content, you feel me?